So, what's going on, folks? Recently fallen into some bad habits here. I have put on a lot of weight in the last few weeks. Since arriving in Bangkok, even since a little bit before coming to Thailand, the last week in Bali, putting on weight. And it's gotten to a bad level. I don't know if you can tell. I can tell on myself, but I've put on a good, God, I want to say 10 kilos, 25 pounds, just in a matter of 3 weeks or so. Significant. I've become a bloated mess. Just overeating, starting to eat out, a lot of MSG, and hard to control it here. I'll say that with the weed, coming back to weed, and it's tough, very tough. The food here is so good, finding it difficult, but starting today, I've committed to a fast, water only fast, 3 days at least. So it's now, say, 6 p.m. My last meal was last night, maybe around 9 p.m. So almost 24 hours now without food. So, almost 1 day in. After sleeping tonight and waking up tomorrow, it should be relatively easy. I say that, but no, it should be. Historically, that's how it goes. I've had to fight some food cravings today, but nothing I couldn't deal with. Nothing too bad, actually. I think I've finally gotten in the right mindset, aka hitting a rock bottom feeling. So, gonna fast 3 to 5 days, and coming off of the fast, I will. Oh, check this out. Check this out. Coming off of the fast, I will just be eating animal products. Chicken, pork, beef, eggs. That's it. Maybe using coconut oil to cook if I don't have beef tallow. That's it. That's the diet. We're getting back into shape. I've also fallen off with the gym. I've been working out 5 days a week, weight training, for the past 15 years. Occasionally with some hiccups, maybe going through a small period of not lifting, but never for very long. And so I don't want to let it last long this time either. This is going on like 3 weeks without really weight training. I'm walking a lot, but it's not the same thing. You need both. I need both to feel good, to feel healthy. It has started to impact my energy levels, my mental state. I always feel heavy, like I'm carrying around more weight and bloat, and so it just makes me not feel good. So time to change that. I must say, other people in Pattaya, unfortunately, are not super health conscious and motivated for the most part. As a generalization, it's a lot of heavier people. Just like who are eating a lot. Maybe they're on vacation, sure, but you could tell they have big guts, huge guts. So that's kind of what pattaya is, jomtien. That's what it is. Like, you look on the beach, it's 95%, people who just don't care, And most of the time that makes me feel better because I feel like I'm in a smaller percent in a minority of people who are, relatively fit and health conscious. So I like it when it's like that, but when I fall off of my game and I'm not as motivated, it definitely is not helpful in getting back into the motivation when everybody else around you is, also unmotivated. That's just an excuse for me, though. That is not the reason, why I have fallen off. But it's something I've observed and I have felt in the last weeks. So, for example, in Bali, like I would say it's the opposite, where 90% of people feels like they're in shape and almost a little too much about their looks, you know. And in general, I don't like that, but I think when it comes to keeping me motivated, keeping me on my game, like I have to stay sharp and fit, it's helpful, you know. I don't slack for too long. I kind of get back on it. You know, I get back out on the beach and I see all these people looking really good, and it motivates me a little bit, or it just makes me feel, you know, like I don't look great, and so it's a motivation. I don't get that here. I don't get that in Pattaya at all. It's not like that across all of Thailand. I think it's like a Pattaya specific thing. Like it's not like that in Bangkok. Koh Samui is not like that. It's just because it's cheap here. Cheap beach destination. It's what it is, you know. It's like one of the cheapest places you can come, take your family on vacation or take your wife. You know, and it's majority Russians here now. It's just the majority of what the foreigners are here. I mean, there is other foreigners here. Like I definitely meet Europeans. There's a lot of Germans here as well. That's like the predominant too. And then there is like a mix of Australian, UK, other Europeans, but just not that many. Really not that many. And like I don't know the Russian culture that well, but I feel like it's typically, you know, the food is heavy, right? And there's some sense of like not caring too much about fitness and like being in shape. That's, you know, before even coming here, I've gotten that impression in my life that, a lot of times they are overweight and they just eat a lot. They have a family, you know, they have a big family or they have kids or whatever. They don't care, you know, and it makes sense, right? But it feels like now I'm seeing that in person. And it's a slightly older demographic here, or definitely older, right? So you're just more likely to be overweight. You're more likely to both care less and have more trouble keeping your weight off. So I think it's difficult. Hello, Sawadee Krap. The Hard 8 Saloon. Just gonna walk down this street a little bit. It's actually a lot of like restaurants, bars lining this whole street going down to the beach. Quite a busy street. I don't even know what it's called, so I can't tell you, but it leads into Downtown Beach. You know, I always love that spot down at the bottom here. And this spot is like right on the edge of Pratumnak and Downtown Beach, Jomtien. I wanted to make this video more so to just talk about how I was feeling currently, you know, my current emotion, which was related to my lack of fitness and poor eating in the last few weeks. You know, it's been kind of compounding, it's been building. It's something that will happen many times over in my life, you know, and I fall off for a few weeks and have to, you know, get back on it. That's how it goes. I will say that whenever I travel or whenever I go to a new place in general, that's kind of when I slip. That's when I fall off. You know, if I'm regularly traveling, moving around, it becomes very hard for me to have a good eating regimen and not just like stack on weight. And if I move in general, like back to Thailand when I've not been there, no matter what, I will indulge off the bat in Thai food and eating out, not just cooking meat every meal. And I gotta not let that slip for more than a day or two, or, you know, it so quickly turns into 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where every time I will have the thought that that's not gonna happen. It's only been 3 days, or it's only been whatever it is. And inevitably, it will happen. Let me know in the comments, you know, do you guys struggle with staying on track with your diet and with your exercise routine? I find it easy once I get into the routine for a very long period of time to just stay motivated and stay in the routine. To do it for 6 months to a year and it's just feels like normal. And then you slip up for a little bit and it's just that much harder getting back into it, you know? I guess it applies to anything, but I don't know, for me, especially with food and with going to the gym, and they go hand in hand. You know, if I really am slipping up on my diet, my gym is gonna slip too, you know, for sure. And vice versa. If I just stop working out, I'm so unmotivated to eat as healthy and clean. And so, yeah, they go hand in hand. And you see, pretty much no matter where you turn, there's food. And so it's always fresh on your mind here. Like, you never really get away from seeing food, being around food. Like at home, I cannot buy snacks. I cannot buy chips, nut butter, all the things that I would see it and crave it. But I like to go out, go for walks, and naturally I'm seeing all of this street food. It's tough. It makes it tough. And if my body didn't react so poorly to it, I mean, I would eat it. And it would be bad. I'd almost have just no self-control. It's like in the past, before I had all these food allergies, before I had so much issues with my gut, I didn't have the self-control for it. You know, it was like either I'm gonna go out, meet friends, or go on a date with a girl. And if not, I'm just gonna stay at home and binge eat or go pick up food from 5 places and get that dopamine hit through food instead. There's always one or the other. It's like, yeah. And so, Pratumnak Night Market. This is kind of like new. I feel like there's not a ton going on here. Like, it looks super quiet. There's like this fruit stand here. Little spot here. Just want to see inside here. I never came in here. I mean, it looks like they have this big Super Mario blow up thing. Naruto Super Mario play thing. Stands out. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet in here. It looks like something that, I mean, they just built it not long ago, and it will probably get filled up more with food spots, maybe catch on to popularity. But sometimes there's just like a spot that has a bunch of food stalls and like very little to no people. If it's not in like the hot spot, the main area, yeah, there's just like some spots like this in the north of Pattaya, or in some different spots as well, just outside of the tourist zone, that to me it seems like they have this big market area and they just like don't get any customers. So maybe some of those spots are like hoping to build up after COVID and become something of like a popular market over time. Because I recall even that spot like 4, 5, 6 different times having the thought in my mind of like, oh, what is this like this night market, yet it's like so unbuilt out. Like before there was even way less food there. There was little to none. Now there's actually some open stands and stuff, but yeah, still just looks so quiet, and for the location too. So I always think about that. Another thing is that it's just so common in Thai culture to eat a lot and eat often. So anytime I'm hanging out with somebody here, it's like a focal point of the hangout. It's going to be going and eating somewhere. You know, usually drinking as well, which I at this point accept that I'm not drinking, and that I don't have a trouble like in social situations like not having it. I'm fine with that. But the food, you know, it starts with like nibbling on one thing, and it just inevitably like I end up eating out that day. And then like usually I will leave hanging out with that group of people, and then my brain is craving food because I just ate some carbs or whatever, some hot pot, and then I overindulge that night, you know, to myself, like with a bunch of snacks or whatever. And so that's been my experience here is difficulty abstaining from overeating. Yeah, and like I said, coming back into smoking weed after just 2 months not doing it, yeah, it's going to cause some food cravings, some additional munchies to, you know, the already munchies I used to get. So sometimes I can kind of recognize to myself, hey, you're only hungry right now because you're high. Ignore it, eat tomorrow, like if it's late at night. Sometimes I can stick to that and I can get into this strong willpower moment. Other times there is no, like not even a chance that I will not give in to the craving that I'm having. So it just depends how strong the craving is and like where my inhibitions are in that given moment, you know. That's why if I drank alcohol, I would have exponentially more problems with binge eating and controlling my eating. Because those times I do drink or did used to drink, you know, I had just no self-control, and I would eat 20,000 calories one sitting in, you know, 20 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, just a bit of rambling today about food and diet and self-control. You know, I think I enjoy doing these videos sometimes that are not focused on any specific, you know, area. I'm not visiting a specific area, but just kind of talking about a more personal thing. Something that I feel like people can usually relate with, and something that I can stir up some chat in the comments about. You know, I enjoy that. And it seems from the reaction I get that a lot of my subscribers and, you know, people that find my videos do enjoy these type of videos. So you can expect these quite often, especially if I'm in an area like Pattaya for say 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know, there's only so much content I could make doing daily videos, or so many different places I could visit, for example. So I would say, yeah, it's mixing these videos with trying different things, checking out the area, stuff like that. Little pizza spot right there. I can smell pizza. It's another thing. You will smell food when you're walking around all the time. Very fragrant Thai food, especially, and so I mean, you will smell it all the time. It's like, you know, there's something that people say about like when you're trying to diet, not putting yourself around certain foods, and you know, not buying foods in your house. And so, yeah, when you're out on the streets, nothing you can do about it. You kind of have to build some willpower. I have 2 more days in Jomtien in my current condo. And then I'm moving over here more towards Pratamnak Hill. Just changing up different spots actually every week. Because of my financial situation, I'm just booking 1 week at a time. And by the time I'm ready to book another week, it's never available again, so I just book something different. So far I'm going on 2 weeks in Pattaya, you know, 2 different condos, and then it will be a third one coming this Thursday. So yeah, nice to try some different condo buildings as well, since I was considering signing a lease and committing to 6 months or something somewhere. Yeah, it would be cool to try 5-6 different condo buildings and yeah, see which one feels like a good value. I mean, so far the Laguna resorts, which is, I tried 2 different ones, number 2 and number 3. I like it. I like Laguna Resort number 3 in Maldives better than the number 2. Just thought it had a nicer gym and nicer layout. And it's, yeah, maybe it's newer, but I like it a little bit better overall. I mean, this place always stands out here. They have this like huge cannabis resort. It's almost, like a beach club. I mean, you will also see, since you see so much cannabis stores everywhere, I mean, that's another thing that is always in your brain. If it's something you try to regulate, something you're trying not to do in the daytime or whatever, there's always going to be a difficult moment then in the day where, let's say I'm waiting till 5 p.m. I don't want to use it till 5 p.m. Well, if I'm out walking 2, 3, 4 p.m. and I see people hanging out, smoking joints at these places, it's just something in the brain that you can't help but, think about it and kind of cave on your initial 5 p.m. rule. Temptations, it's all around in Thailand. It's more than almost anywhere. You're just surrounded by it. So, hey, it could be worse. Could be, at least I didn't slide into any deep addictions, didn't slide into any seriously bad habits, let's say. So it's okay. I can handle overeating and whatever for a few weeks. But again, you can't let it just happen forever, or else, the times that I've let it go for 2 months, 3 months, then I get into a bad place. Then I'm fat and depressed, and I'm trying to avoid that. So I've learned enough to know, hey Ben, it's time to cut it out. So that's why I'm so all or nothing, starting with a fast today. 3 days fasting minimum. And now I said this in my other vlog, like a few vlogs ago. And then that same vlog, I was eating that night, completely failed and went against my intention and promise or whatever. But this time, no. I don't tend to do that too much. I try not to make an absolute claim unless I'm going to stick to it. And so I even had mentioned in the vlog, it made me feel so silly that I, wherever my mind was when I said like I'm doing this fast 3 days or more, versus where my mind was later that night, it's just such a different place. It's crazy. The inhibition's just gone. Unbelievable. It is beautiful. The weather has been really beautiful since I arrived here. Since arriving back to Thailand in general, 2 weeks now. Everything aside, happy to be here. Had a lot of ups and downs while I was in Bali as well, but I feel like it's more manageable here, and at the end of the day I still feel like I'm home, so that makes things a little easier to deal with. I think it makes it easier for me to get back on track as well. I'm putting a lot more time into my work here. It's definitely been harder for me to vlog. Maybe that's a weed thing as well, like maybe it's taking away some of my energy, my feeling of motivation. And so, I don't know. Part of it has been a little bit of getting stuck on ideas and this thought of like, what do I go vlog? Where I think before I was having less of that issue, and I was just keeping it very in the moment and just kind of going for it. And I think I get in my head thinking too much about what to make and maybe about comments and things like that, and I think I've come to the conclusion that I will just do whatever comes out, whatever feels right on a given day. I have to produce a video every day. It's still my goal and still something I'm sticking to, and so in order to do that, I have to get crafty with what I am making and changing it up day to day, so it's not the same. Hello. I love when somebody waves at the camera, but it's facing me. Yeah, it's been quite busy too. Just like a lot of people vacationing. You know, more than expats, I'd say. Like, got a lot of tourism happening in Pattaya, in Jomtien at the moment. But just to the right level. It's not like overcrowded or too much traffic or anything like that. I think it's at a nice level. Exactly where I want it to be honest. I think it's always nice over in this area where the volleyball nets are, and you know, like a lack of chairs over here. Yeah, just the start of Dongtan Beach, I suppose. But it's always a nice feeling over here. People are always out. You know, there's always people playing volleyball. It's always quite mixed. You know, it's like tourists, expats, and locals playing together oftentimes. So that's pretty cool. People always flying. I don't even know what that is. It's not a kite. It's definitely some more of like a windsurfing type deal up there. I don't know. Yeah, so nice out here though. When I go in the water, I tend to go like right out here. It's busy over here. You know, just don't like the areas with the chairs. I don't know what it is. I've never liked swimming or hanging out in the areas with chairs, and I never use the chairs. Windy. I've been saying that in my recent vlogs. The wind has picked up like seasonally over here or something, because I remember when I used to film, I didn't feel wind in the same way. Thankfully, after checking back, it's not causing too many problems on my videos. I'm really trying to project my voice when it's windy, and it's helping. I know I talk about getting a mic so frequently, but I'm just broke, so it will happen just when it can happen. A nice little beach massage here. I mean, that looks pleasant. Yeah, that would be nice. That's another thing I've thought about at least 36 times and never committed to it, never did it. Those beach massages. One day I will have to make a video trying some beach massages. You know, I've talked about it enough. I don't really want to make a video where I'm just sitting there getting massaged. So I've always thought, like, how do I make a video about going to a massage place or something like that? So I usually avoid it. It's just too hard to, it's tough. Then there's some big videos out there with like massage stuff. Some of them are good, but it's not like just a dude getting oiled up in the video. So I have to think about how to actually make the video and what to film in it. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video. It will help my videos grow, will help my channel grow. I appreciate that. Speaking of bad habits, left my freaking key in my bike. Do that too frequently as well. One of these times, my bike is not going to be there. And then I will truly learn. It's a tough thing because you turn it to open the trunk. You know, sometimes I'll forget something and I put the key back in to go in the trunk. Then that key just stays. Just stays. Oh, this is a nice spot. This is such a nice spot over here. I'll see people chilling and fishing. This is a real, I say, relaxed, mega relaxed spot of the beach. Sounds like they're partying up there. Can hear like people singing. I heard it earlier too, and they're still going. That was a good day. That was nice. I almost was not gonna record a vlog again, but I didn't record yesterday, and I knew I had to get myself out of the funk. So just turned the camera on and started talking. So yeah, bad habits. I knew it was necessary to make this vlog anyways. The timing was perfect, so I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.